Hello and welcome back to the Bricks Hub. If you've been watching some of my previous videos, you'll probably recognise this. This is an inbuilt physical version of my mock/redesign that I've been working on for the New Republic fighter tank set. Now, I've got some pretty mixed feelings on this set as a whole. I do think it's quite a nice build, but a lot of it feels very flimsy and quite childish almost in some ways. Well, at least the original build was. My major problems stemmed a lot from how certain things were attached, maybe some of like the more design things. To give an example, the way that this attaches to the whole build is quite annoying. Another example would be how the turrets worked. The turrets are very flimsy and quite really loose. So right now, this is a prototype, so unfortunately I'm not going to do any instructions for it at the moment, so sorry if you came here hoping for the instructions, and I'd almost also recommend against using the previous instructions I've made for this, because I made that when I didn't have a physical model, and in person now, I'm kind of realising why it's quite hard to modify this set. But I'm going to go show you a bit of this prototype, and show you kind of how I went about some of these builds, so if you want to put them together you can, hopefully in preparation for a full video when I get everything worked out. So one of the first things you'll probably notice is the slopes. These are pretty important and kind of vital actually to the design of the fighter tank. It would have normally been a bit like this, which isn't an amazing look, so just taking a bit of some clip pieces underneath here. These are hinges. You just replace them where that long Technic beam. You replace both of them on each side, and you've now got these slopes. This was surprisingly easy actually, and it also does mean that if you flatten these parts out, which is something I'm going to plan to do, you'll be able to slope it, so you can have it when it turns corners and stuff like that. Certain bits will rise and certain bits will fall. And just underneath you can see there's some headlights here, and there's also two clear bottom bits, so it just hovers slightly. I might even make these a little bit higher if it needs to stay off the ground a bit more like that. Another change, as you can see here, is the way that the front of it kind of works. I've brought this in quite significantly now. It's now 4 studs wide rather than the 6 it was previously, so now it's a bit thinner and a bit more accurate to, crucially, the original Battlefront model, which I personally think is the one that this set was based on before somewhere along the line they tried to make it look a little bit more like the new Battlefront one. But getting back to this, the front still opens. It's much smoother now, and it's in a much better place where there's no gap at all. It just goes down like that completely, and you can just do that. And then if we zoom in a bit here, you can see that we now have a weapons storage bit inside here, but you still have a part in the back. When you close this up, we still have a part in the back. You can pull this down where the pilot goes, and also the gunner themselves is still up there. This actually leads quite nicely onto this part, which is, you can tell I've inverted this now, and the studs are facing up, which is a much better look. I much prefer when the studs are facing upwards, and the only thing I'm going to change is these two, just to a single tile. I just didn't have the original piece to hand when I was building that. So that'll be the only change there, and you can just pull that down. And I've actually changed how the inside works. I'm not going to pull the minifigure out just because it'll take a while to put them back in again. But I've now got 2 floors on it, and you can still fit 2 minifigures in. The only problem is that the same issue with the original model is that you can't have the figure sat up. That you can't push the figure down or anything. You do have to take them out when you shut the lid. And moving on, you can see this little gun emplacement here, which is also on the Battlefront model. This is something that's attached on as like an extra. That's how it works. And it just means that when you have your figure out here, I'm just going to pull him out, you can pull that and you can just close it up. There's just a little hole in here, and you just put that back in there, and then you put the minifigure back in, and then you've got the turret again. Now, the part of the tank that is still very much a work in progress is the turrets. Mainly because in the official set, they're a massive pain. They're way too loose, the connection is pretty bad as well, and it really just doesn't work out. So the solution I've found here at the moment, this is only temporary, is just to connect them to 2 little bracket pieces here. which is not a permanent solution because you want your set to be playable, you want it to be able to be adjusted, but at the moment I'm just going to have to stick with that just because I really can't think of any way to get those to connect without completely redesigning the turrets. So if anyone has any solutions, let me know in the comments, that'd be great. If you can't, no worries, I will eventually get around to coming up with something for it, but just at the moment I'm not too sure if I can do that at the moment. There isn't a whole lot else to show here, really. This is what you're seeing is what you can get, really. But I have cut down on a few, random colours throughout the build, tried to smooth it out a little bit, and I'm really happy with how the slopes worked. I do think there's still a lot of work to be done on this. That's why I'm not releasing any instructions yet, and the crucial issue is these turrets at the moment. So when I get a fix for that, when I manage to work out this build permanently, I'm going to do a tutorial, and that'll be the first thing you'll see. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions. Comments, likes, anything like suggestions, and subscribes, of course, are very much appreciated. They really help out the channel. So if you can do that, that'd be great. And keep an eye out for some more videos and hopefully an update on this.